Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today, I'm going to be cleaning out our mini barndominium. What a mess. A little bit of history is in order. We built this barn about 20 years ago, and it was across the street. That was our original property over there. We didn't own this property. It was a little bit to the right of that hydrant right there, and it would have went past the block wall that's there now and went into the corner of the wood shop that's there now. We moved the barn over here because we don't want to get rid of this. This was our destination. We lived 200 and some miles away from our land here, and when we came out here, we had to have a place that had our stuff for when we came out here. It was just impossible to bring everything with us every time. We had hot and cold running water. My wife found that at a rummage sale for, what does it say, $15? I believe she got it for $10. It's only a gallon, but that's all you needed. You could wash your hair, you could do a lot of different things with that 1 gallon water heater. And the water came from that hydrant there. We just ran a hose over to a hookup on the outside. You can see it right there, that's taken off, but it had a water filter, and it came up to the sink, and it went upstairs to a potty-only toilet that I made up there. Pretty cool. Yeah, there's tons of memories with this little barn. A lot of babies were washed in this sink right here. Lots of people came up here camping, and this was kind of where you cooked the food and stuff. We used to have a hot plate and all that stuff here. We had electricity, hot and cold running water, and we even had a phone in here for a while because when we were building our house, we lived in the barn over here, and we had a couple tents set up over there. I'll show you some pictures of that, but we had the table saw set up in the tent, and we worked on the house for, I think it was like 7 months, and stayed in here that whole time. I was working doing engineering for a company in Washington out of that little corner there. That's what we had the DSL line hooked up for. So, like I said, this place has a lot of memories, so when it was time to move it, it had to get out of the way for the new wood shop there. We moved it over here and put it on a grade beam. Well, I guess you can see the grade beam right there, which is a tripled 2x8. I'll show you a little more of it real quick. That's it right there. Yeah, tripled 2x8. So we're going to add on to that back part as well, but we're going to start work on this part right now. My daughter wants to move her art supplies upstairs, so that's the first thing we're going to do, but we got to get this whole place cleaned out before I can even do that. Once that's done, we're going to replace the skin. We're going to pop the skin off and put a thicker skin on it, insulate it, a bunch of stuff. But like I said, first everything has to come out of here, including all of this electrical stuff. We have our little breaker box here. Lots of conduit all over the place. Yeah, this is going to be a challenge, but let's start by getting all of this stuff out of here. Once we move this over here, I moved all of my gardening stuff out of the shed area because I was working on that. I'm still working on that, and I really don't want to put most of this stuff in there. So we're going to move as much as possible over into the container over there, but pay that no never mind. Let's just get to work and start cleaning this place up. Talk about bad luck. This place is just completely drenched. I opened this up 2 days ago so that we could look at it and figure out what needed to be done. The door, the hinges messed up on the door, and it doesn't stay in place, so I have it screwed in place. I opened that up so we could look at it, and I figured I'd just leave it open because I was going to come out here and work on this. And then it rained the entire night. I did not see that coming, and the rain was driven and coming in this direction, which isn't the direction of the prevailing wind, so it just got soaked in here. Once I get this carpet out of here, it should dry pretty quick. The floor is made out of treated plywood, so I'm not worried about that. The floor should be just fine. I started up the gator for the first time this year and swept the bed out and tipped it up to the sun so that it can dry out. As soon as that's dried out, I'll back it up right to here and we'll start getting some of this stuff out of here. I guess I can figure out where it goes later and just fill up the back of the gator for now, just to have some room in here. Get the carpet out, and yeah, I think that's it. We'll go from there. We're putting a dent in it. Got a lot of stuff to find a place for, though. A lot of this stuff is the stuff that I use day to day in the oak savanna restoration and just for like garden maintenance and stuff. So I can't bury that. I think what I'm going to do is steal a shelf from the machine shed and put it on that. And then any stuff that we're going to be using to work on the barn here, I can put in the shed in the box that's right around the corner. And the rest is going to have to go either in the container or the shed, someplace. It's going to take me probably an hour to find a place to put all this stuff. And then once I do that, I'm going to pull this hose out of here, get this stuff's all going in the dump. And then we'll get back at this. Not too much left to get out of here. Then I'm going to sweep the place up, and I have to start removing pipes and shelves and electric and everything. Yeah, fairly big task. All right, let me find a place for this stuff. I'm not going to film that. I'll get back with you back here once that's done. All right, I got rid of all that stuff and started loading some more. And I've got a fair amount of stuff left. That is staying. That's the hurricane straps for underneath here. That has to go. This has to go. Lots of little stuff hanging up here. All right, shouldn't be too bad. It took a little over an hour to find a place for that other stuff, and I'm not sure on this. Probably won't take as long. All right, let's get this cleaned up. All right, that's pretty much it for the stuff that has to get out of here. That I'm going to save for little bits of wood that are being taken out. Fill that up. And I need to sweep off this carpet and roll it up. I'm not sure if they're getting rid of this or not. It looks like it's still in pretty good shape. So we'll get that done as well. This is what used to hook the barn up to the water. It would be hooked up to a nipple on the outside and to the hydrant. You turn on the hydrant and the system would fill up with water. All of this stuff was self-draining. In the fall, we would take the water filter off and do stuff with the valves, open up all the valves, and then drain the water from the bottom of the water heater out the door with a little hose, and the place would be freeze-proof for the winter. Yeah, lots of memories in this little place. We're going to be taking this out and saving it, but not today. Today, I just want to get this place cleaned and ready to finish up taking all this other stuff out. Hi, kitty. I know you've seen her running across the floor, but she goes up the back of the ladder up to here and then gets on the rung and then jumps over to here. Hi, kitty. She had the run of this place all winter because she could get up through the floor there, and I had foam on the top of the counter here and her bed on top of it. This is an insulated bed. Got pretty tore up over the years, but it's still nice and warm. So she slept out here. She had a little window right here. Place of her own, but not for long. Kitty. Yeah, I'll show you the upstairs in the next video. I'm not sure if I've showed that already, but we'll see it in the next video. All right, place is nice and clean. I think I'm going to put a fan in here and let that run and dry this floor out. And next thing I'll do is get rid of all these shelves and all the electrical and stuff. I'm going to get this cleaned out today as well, though. I hear the pitter-patter of Maisie feet. Where you at, cat? Kitty. There she is. Hi, big kitty. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get this cleaned off, and that will probably be it for today. Then I'll bring, like I said, put a fan in here. I'll bring the vacuum over here, get the rest of this stuff done, and then clean this up really good with the vacuum. And then we need to start taking off walls and running electricity, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, this should be really interesting. All right, let's get this cleaned real quick. Before I start cleaning, let me show you this real quick. Look at all the tooth marks. That's from mice. Mice love bars of soap like this. They'll eat the whole thing eventually, but I don't know how they do it without getting a really bad tummy ache, but it is what it is. This cast iron sink came out of my grandparents' home. The house was built in 1932, so this sink is nearly 100 years old. They took it out when they were remodeling, and I took it up here. The original faucet, this is pretty much a duplicate of the original faucet. I think the handles are different, but otherwise the casting is pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I built the counter out of plain old BCX plywood that was laying around. You could see it as a built-in backsplash, and the backsplash goes all the way around the sink. And I believe, yeah, this is a 4x4 Douglas fir on the front, and it's held up by this single bracket, and then it's bracketed to each one of the studs along the way, and on the end right there. Yeah, pretty nice. But otherwise, this sink was a wall mount unit. It didn't have a counter like this. It just hung from the wall, and it had like a towel rack on the front. So I made my own towel rack. It's just some more plywood and a piece of conduit. Yeah, this was a nice little place to come to for a vacation, and now we live here. All right, it's already getting late, and I have to find a place for all that stuff. So I think I'm going to end this video. I also need to run one of our vehicles to the shop because that's broke. But we got a good start on this. And like I said, next time you see this, I'll be taking out the rest of these shelves, taking out this plumbing, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be taking out the sink at that time. This is getting taken out, but I'm going to save it. I don't have a use for it right now, but it's not going anywhere. I'll save the entire thing, the counter and the sink, and hopefully we'll have something to put it into sometime. So we have tons of stuff coming up. I'm going to be working on the oak savanna quite a bit this year, plus finishing up the wood shop so I can build furniture for the little art studio here. And we're going to be working on this art studio itself. We're taking all this plywood off, putting new stuff on, windows in here, just tons of stuff. So if you want to see that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.